Daniel Thorne says, when Pedro goes back to his clan, no one can make him put on his mask because of the trump card he has, which says he rules Mandalore. That's a fair point. Any chance that Grand Admiral Thrawn cloned Luke the same way he cloned a TIE pilot in the Thrawn trilogy? Oh, actually, Daniel Thorne. That is a great question, and that can start our discussion of The Mandalorian. I already gave my full review, so I won't go into too much more detail than that. Just to say that I honestly think that one of the things that got lost in my review of The Mandalorian is how much I appreciate, especially in that last episode, the stunt work. I really do think that despite my hatred, because it's still there, for the terrible CGI that they used for Luke, I honestly think that that was some of the best stunt work that we've seen this season. The fight sequences were fantastic. Kudos to that stunt team for doing excellent, excellent work. That being said, I still stand by it. Apparently, there's been a news report coming out, so I obviously want to be honest and upfront. A news report has come out that apparently Favreau has confirmed that Mark Hamill was on the set of The Mandalorian as they filmed the shots of Luke, and that therefore it was de-aging technology. I don't believe that. I'm going to be straight up. I do not buy that for a second, and here's why. Go ahead and look back to movies like Ant-Man. Keep in mind, Ant-Man now is, 5 years old? And the sequel to Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp. In both of those movies, they use actual de-aging, where it's the actor on screen. They use both makeup and visual effects to make the person look younger. And in Ant-Man, it's downright flawless. It's not perfect, but it really does look fantastic. It's like, wow, they've literally given life to this actor in a way I never thought possible. But it's not a CGI face. It's not CGI eyes. Because you can keep the eyes when you do this type of technology. If it's actual, true, authentic de-aging, the eyes will still be of the actor. There's no reason to digitize the eyes. And yet, what do we see in this episode of The Mandalorian? A completely artificial, dead soul portrayal of Luke Skywalker, which is why I don't buy for a second that it's de-aging. I said this early on Twitter. I was like, I actually would need to see a picture of Mark Hamill in the suit wearing any of the sensors that he needs to actually buy into them saying that it's de-aging. Because it's not. The fact that within a week, the internet community with far less money was able to do a deepfake version of that scene and it looked as well, if not better, than what they did with their millions upon millions of dollars per episode and all of this technology, all of the proprietary technology for this kind of stuff at their disposal. I don't buy it for a second. And of course, though, I had people saying, oh, well, Odin said this, and so I'm going to tag him on Twitter and call him out. It's like, okay, I don't care if Favreau said it. I'm not blind. I know what the technology looks like. As I said, I gave you reference points. If you want to find technical reference points, go ahead to the very beginning of Ant-Man back in 2015. Again, I believe it was 2015 when that film came out. So 5 years ago, they had this tech. It's only gotten better and cheaper since that time. That is not what we got in The Mandalorian. And as I said, it still has ruined that moment for me. It's okay if it hasn't ruined it for you. I don't want to take your joy away from it. I don't judge you for it at all. However, I can't get over it because I'm a stickler for CGI. And when I know that they have the tech to do a better job, and when someone with a computer like mine can do it in a week as well or better with deepfake technology, I call bull. I call baloney on that and anyone that says it. Anyway, that's my talk on The Mandalorian. But getting back to what you said, Daniel Thorne, about would they potentially, because obviously Thrawn as a character was teased. My guess is, though, based on where things are going, it would not surprise me if Thrawn is not going to be in The Mandalorian right away, but it's instead going to be the main villain in the Ahsoka series. I think that since Ahsoka was the one that mentioned him, since obviously Thrawn and Ahsoka have history when you go back to things like Clone Wars, Rebels, and all that, from the animated universe, I think that is going to essentially lead to him being the main villain. And it would be really cool if they're able to play around with the clone technology. Because, yeah, the Thrawn trilogy, if you've never read it, it's fantastic. Get the audiobooks. Mark Thompson does the voices. All of them are perfect. Me and Laura talked about it the other day on the Chosen stream. Seriously, it's fantastic stuff. It makes you feel, it's Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars because it is Star Wars. And now for a huge shout out to all of my December Patreon and Subscribe Star members, starting off with Patreon, Albertus Magnus, Andrew Hoyle, Animation Commentator, Brian P., Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Harold Francis, The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Carney, Kenneth Cameo, Laura Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Outpost Dyer, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Miss Martin Muses, also known as Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bogend, Tina B, and the Modern Major General, Laura Story. Gotta give you that shout out for that one time that you were doubled up. Thank you very much for being my Patreon members. And now a huge shout out to all of my December Subscribe Star members we have over there with Stand For, Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, Darkstar 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nevadon G. Adams, and ZK Man. Thank you all so much for being my Patreon and Subscribe Star members. If you want your name shouted out at the end of every video and live stream on the main channel, please consider joining over on those platforms. You can also get access to things like exclusive giveaways of 4Ks, Blu-rays. If you want a DVD, I guess you could also get a DVD as well, digital codes, and of course, you get to possibly join me on the channel once a month for the Chosen of Valhalla live stream and access to an exclusive podcast featuring John the Flick Pick Flickinger, where we have a lot of fun talking about movies and tons of other random things. Anyway, if you want to support these things, check out the links in the description of this video. And also, please consider joining my other channel, the OMB Report, where I talk about not just movies like I do over here, but I focus more so on politics, news, and culture in that order. You guys are all amazing. Thank you for your love and support. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.